Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the fourth episode of the Substitute Podcast. Um, Today, I'm joined by Gradeshield. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm the owner of Gradeshield. My name's David. Been doing this for about 6 months now, so good to be here. Thanks for having me, Mark.
That's all right. It's good to have you on. We had Car Bazaar last week, or well, yesterday as we're recording this, but it'll be last week for people listening. So I just think it's nice to get a different perspective because obviously you both sell collectible related items, but both in a very different way.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. Yeah, so they're
so
more of a retail shop, aren't they?
yeah. Whereas you sell, you know, things to protect the things that he does.
Exactly. Yes, we sell lots of plastic.
So I have to ask, uh, were you a Pokemon collector as a kid, or collectibles generally? And what's the first thing you remember buying?
In terms of me buying, it's probably not until 2016, but when I was young, I think I must have been about 12 then. My parents used to constantly just buy me base set packs, and still to this day, I remember sitting in the back of the car, ripping those packs open with no care in terms of how I handled those cards, and it annoys me in terms of how much they're worth now. But yeah, I think the first thing I probably bought myself, let me have a think. I did buy a lot of Pop 5 series packs in 2016, as I was chasing the Umbreon and Espeon Gold Stars. I never got one myself, so I ended up selling the rest of the packs, which again is another regret because they're worth a lot of money now.
Yeah. Seller's remorse is a big thing.
I think that's constant throughout this community, really.
Yeah, just like because I a while ago bought a load of Evolutions blister packs, and then they went up massively in price, so I sold them, and I got a message from a guy who was like, "Are you sure these cards are real?" And I was like, "They are real, but like, send me a picture, and I'll let you know." And he was like, "Oh, I just thought the HP was a bit high, and he'd packed the Charizard, and it wasn't
Oh
this
God,
wasn't the same as base, so he was like, oh, it
no,
could be fake."
because I think fire spin's 200, isn't it, versus 100 in base.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. I was like, "Oh, well done."
I've never been a fan of the Evolution set. I feel like it looks like a cheaper version of base. I know it's a reprint of base. Obviously, it's just never really appealed to me.
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of channels that open it almost exclusively. There's a YouTube channel, a guy I can't remember his name. He's originally like a bodybuilding channel, but he has like a Pokemon channel on the side, and
Okay,
he opens like a box of Evolutions a week. And
that's a few quid to get through.
yeah, but like I just think that he loves it. So people do. That's why it's the price it is, I guess. But yeah, I know
Yeah,
I opened it when it was like retail value, so I'm not a massive fan of it at like 15 quid a pack.
yeah, yeah. I think I do prefer the CP6, the Japanese set that mirrors Evolutions. I feel that the quality of the cards is a lot better. I've got um I've got the Charizard in PSA 10 on the CP6 set, and I think in comparison it just looks a lot better.
Yeah, I find that with a lot of Japanese sets. Like I really like there's that like the high class Japanese sets they release, so
Yeah,
like Shiny Star V and stuff. There's a Best of XY one, which is like, as the name suggests, it's all the best cards from the XY era, and that they're
yeah.
really nice, and they're like much nicer printed than the English ones because English XY cards are just terribly printed. They're,
Mm.
yeah, just
Well,
awful.
that's why there's thousands of PSA 10 Japanese cards, but the Evolutions Charizard is like gold dust in a 10, isn't it?
Yeah, capped at like £7,000 or something like that card. Crazy.
Yeah, the value of that set is not proportionate to the cards that you get out of it. I mean, the chances of getting a Zard and it being a 10 is, relatively, well, I say relatively, very slim. And a box is what now, £800, maybe it's £900, something like that, isn't it, for a booster box?
Yeah,
Uh,
I was actually having a conversation about this with Matt Cully once, and
yeah,
we were like comparing, and it was like we were talking about Flashfire because Flashfire went up massively in the last like few like 6 months,
yeah,
and it capped at like about £3,000 a box, which is just crazy.
yeah,
But
that
like
is insane.
but you can buy the secret rare Charizard, which is like the best card, in a 10 for £1,500.
Yeah, it's just not it's just not relative to what you can get out of it, is it? I think how much is a Zard on in Evolutions Raw? It's 300, £400, isn't it? No, it might be cheaper than that. But the box is 800. It
Yeah,
just doesn't make sense.
I think I think there has to be a point, right, where people realise that the PSA delay is so long that you're realistically not going to make your money back on an Evolutions box anytime soon.
Oh no, no. And the grading fees are only going up as well, aren't they? So
Yeah,
who knows what they'll be in 6 months when PSA open their doors again and it just gets completely flooded. They up their prices to cold demand again. I don't know.
yeah, I can see it just being a cycle where like PSA open, they get flooded, they get overwhelmed, and then they either up the prices or close again, and it's probably going to happen for a little while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Beckett have done quite well out of the process. I mean, they've upped their prices, but did they close their doors? I can't remember if they did actually.
I don't think
I
they. I
don't
don't think
think
they did.
I don't think they did. No, so they're still going, but they've obviously upped their price.
Yeah,
Um, Regardless of all this, that it looks like the American companies are doing very well out of it.
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like PSA have enough money like secured that they can close for an entire financial quarter. That's a pretty big statement.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if the English grading companies that are appearing are going to be doing quite so well as PSA and Beckett are, but
No, but I guess you know you've seen like when Majesty Grading opened their doors.
they've done well on their
Like
launch, haven't they?
yeah, like the whole 500 card free thing was pretty good marketing.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
I got a free card. I sent one in. But yeah,
Oh,
like
I did see that on your Instagram actually. Yeah. What did you send it?
I sent Topps Chrome Growlithe.
Ah,
Just I didn't want to send something massive not because I don't trust them particularly, just because like a lot of my high end stuff is already at PSA, so I don't have a lot to send.
yeah.
And I thought it's very on brand for me. So
That's true. That's true. No, I think my favorite card's probably Alakazam base set.
yeah,
And I've got the Alakazam Topps Chrome that I was actually saving it to send to PSA, and I've got like a sub of about 100 cards just sitting in semi-rigids, and I didn't get around to sending them in time, so that I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
talking about PSA and semi rigids, I'm assuming that they're in your own branded semi rigids.
of course, yeah.
So, at what point did you realise that like making semi rigids and top loaders is something that you want to do? Or
Basically, over lockdown last year, I've always wanted to start my own business, and I think like a lot of people did, they started, the spark come back, didn't it, for collecting? So I started collecting cards, a bit more religiously again, because number one, I had time, because you work long hours, you kind of put that stuff to the side, I think, and I think over lockdown, people have had a bit more time to think and do stuff that they wouldn't have done normally. So I mean, I think I quit collecting. When did I quit? Must have been 2017, 28. Yeah, about 2017. I think I quit, and I sold all my slabs and everything. I was a bit of a Pikachu collector. I got rid of all of them, and yeah, I finally got back into it again this year. And when I was, buying the packs, and well, obviously I wanted to open them, but I think everyone's got a bit more emphasis on protecting their cards now than they used to. I couldn't find top loaders and semi-rigids anywhere for a decent price. So I thought, well, I always wanted to start my own business. Where can I get these from? And if so, where, how can I sell them? And I spent a good sort of 3 months, probably since August last year, looking into it, and before finally starting the company and placing my first order with a supplier in November. Um, and I incorporated Gradeshield into a company in January. So yeah, I didn't really know how big it was going to be this thing, so I just kind of did it on the side for a couple of months, and set all the Instagram and everything up, and the shop and the website, and that was all ready to go. And then I thought, the more I looked into it and the more orders that I was placing with the suppliers, I thought, yeah, I need to do this properly. So I set up as a company, Um, and that's it. So I've been a company for 4 months now as Gradeshield. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been very difficult to start up with because of COVID. I think a lot of people, decided to switch to doing something as a side hustle and all these things. So especially people that sell on Amazon, which has driven the prices up in China for plastic and shipping and everything. It's all kind of rocketed because of the demand put on China uh, to manufacture products and ship to the US, ship to the UK and the EU. So I kind of fell into that trap as well. So I think the standard shipping times on products from China to be sent by sea is anywhere between 35 and 40 days. My top loaders took, I think, about 75 days to get into the UK, and my semi-rigids took just over 100 days. So I was, it's a very fine line with what you're doing in terms of you start promoting the products and you're like, yeah, they'll definitely be here by the end of February, and then the end of February goes and it's March, and then oh yeah, they'll definitely be here by mid-March. No, I think I got my semi-rigids eventually. Just I think it was mid-April they eventually landed. When I placed the order on the 7th of January. So it's been a long time to get them here, and yeah, but I'm happy they're here finally.
Yeah, I was gonna say the wait was worth it though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I think that the response to, the first lot of sales that we got was excellent. And it's nice to see people taking photos and, seeing other people's collections in your products, which is always good to see. And the feedback that we've had is really good. And, I've not had to refund anybody other than I think one of my top loader boxes had 98 top loaders in it rather than 100. So I partially refunded someone. That's the only issue I've had so far, aside from Hermes losing a few parcels, but that's a straight refund. But other than that, it's gone really smoothly, which is great. And I wanted to make something that was a bit different to the norm, because I think a lot of companies that produce semi-rigids, they kind of turn up in like a plastic bag that doesn't fit properly, or um, I just don't think it looks very like aesthetically pleasing. So when I was speaking with my supplier, we decided to go for custom packaging, and I think it helps secure the products a bit better as well, particularly on the semi-rigids, because they come in like a cardboard box that supports underneath that kind of matches. It kind of looks a little bit like a top loader box, like a 25 pack of top loaders, but it's also shrink wrapped, so it protects them so from scratches in transit and rattling around, and you know, those things do get battered around when they're coming across the sea. So it's always good to have a bit more protection on them. Protection for the protection.
I mean, you gotta protect your top loaders. You can put them in a, put them in a bigger, put your top loaders in semi-rigid and then put them in
I was gonna say I'll
yeah.
start putting in semi-rigids, but no, it's been good. It's been a good journey so far. It's been quite time consuming to begin with. That's I think that's the same with any business when you're setting it up. And I think the hardest thing is trying to gain followers organically rather
Yeah,
than promoting and all this sort of stuff. You kind of want to get traffic to your page and people to actually enjoy and like the product rather than having to get influencers to promote you and all this sort of stuff. Because I think while influencing is a fantastic way of promoting yourself, and it gets you out there. Well, it gets you out there massively now, doesn't it? The amount of followers that some of these people have got. But I think I still think it's better to grow organically, because you're going to get a following that's specifically there for you. Um, so yeah, I think it's been good. I finally hit 1,000 followers after how long? Yeah, about 6 months now, which is good. And I'll just keep growing day by day. It's nice. It's nice waking up to more followers and messages about products, and yeah, it's going well.
yeah. I mean, I've been in a. I mean, obviously, I don't do the same things you do. I'm in a similar position where like I want to grow my Instagram and this podcast and stuff more organically than
Yeah,
anything else. Like I want people to stick around, because they like what I do rather than because they like what someone else has done and they've told them to like me. If you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, I
Have you?
think I think I found you from when was it? I think PSA was it PSA Pimp shared your Dalmatian break.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I found you in the first place. That was a couple of months ago now, wasn't
we have to briefly discuss that because you might be
it?
one of the largest, inadvertently one of the largest collectors of the Dalmatians TCG in the country.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a weird purchase. Still to this day, I have no idea why I done it. Can't remember how many boxes I've got now. They're sitting in my wardrobe at the moment.
It's,
This incredibly heavy box of like 20 Dalmatian booster boxes that cost me 80 quid or something. It was ridiculous.
like
Um,
booster boxes a generous term. They're like I don't know. They weigh like a
it's
kilo
like
and
a
a half
kilo, isn't it?
each. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I
it's
think
ridiculous.
the courier that delivered it, because I live in a flat that's top floor and it's 3 stories with no lift. And the guy that had to carry it up the stairs, he got to my front door and was like, "What is in there?"
I bet you.
So
I bet you didn't tell him.
I I did tell him. No, I was like, I don't know. Um, but yeah, that was a very interesting break that you did, which is why I bought them actually. So
Yeah.
maybe in 10 years' time they might be worth 100 quid rather than 80. So you never know. It could be a great investment.
I mean, you never know. The Lion King TCG blew up recently.
Did it?
Yeah, well, I say blew up. It was worth about 10 times what it was worth originally. That still doesn't mean it's worth much, but it was worth 10 times more.
I think when you look at the packs on the Dalmatians, I think they're actually worth less now than what they were when they were retail.
Yeah, yeah. Most TCGs are. I think I still have a load of them. They were like $1.99 each, and then
That's
like
it. And I'm thinking, God, I've made a killing here. Maybe I could take them back to the original shop.
yeah. There's a competition inside where you can like I think it's you send it off. You send off like 3 wrappers and like a couple of dollars, and you can get like a Dalmatian brand tape player.
Oh
And I
yeah, I
was
remember. Yeah,
I was really tempted to see if I can actually track down the company that make them and see if they'll honour it.
yeah, they still about.
It's it's Fleer, so I think so.
Oh, Fleet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're not really very big anymore. They were huge in the 80s, like sports cars and stuff.
Well, well, given the success that this TCG was, perhaps they do have some tape players still stacked up in their warehouse.
Yeah, they've got thousands and thousands of them and just buried them in
Gathering
the desert
dust.
somewhere.
It's quite funny seeing a lot of these uh, random trading card games appearing again. Like there's a guy on Instagram called, I think it's Mr. Cardi G, and he collects some of the most random stuff that I've seen. And I was speaking to him the other day, and he's cracked open a Justin Bieber first edition trading card game box. And there's a rookie card in there. I think it's with the first card that Drake appears with Justin Bieber or something. And the card's going for ridiculous money on eBay at the moment, like 400, £500 raw for this Justin Bieber and Drake card.
You know, there's a guy on YouTube and his name's Chris Sewell, and he's the channel is called Baseball Collector Investor something Seller.
Yeah.
And he does this thing every week called High Rollers, and he also does like a bit at the end where it's just like various TCGs, and there was like a Jay-Z rookie card that sold for like 150k.
Wow.
And it's like it's a one of one Jay-Z, and it's like, well, that's cool, but someone just spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, I mean, over time, will that thing grow in value? I don't know, but I suppose if anything is if someone wants it and they've got a bit of money, they're going to buy it, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there's always room for growth in this sort of thing, especially with limited supply.
I mean, back to limited supply. Obviously, you had to wait a while to get all the stuff from overseas.
Yeah,
And you were saying that you got like everything like all your packaging custom made and stuff.
yeah.
Without obviously giving away too many insider details, what is the process for doing something like that?
It's a lot of hard work. So I don't mind sharing secrets. It's all this information's available on YouTube, and um, if people want to do it, they're more than welcome to do it. It's more competition is good for the community because ultimately prices get driven down. I'm not in this to make I'm not going to be a millionaire out of doing Gradeshield, but it's nice to get stuff both myself and for other people at reasonable prices. So in terms of finding a supplier, I mean, a lot of people will know of this website, and I think maybe a few years ago, everyone had gone, "Oh God, I'd never buy anything from there." But it's a website called Alibaba, and it's just where all the manufacturers in China and different middlemen, they all just advertise on this website, and you can, it's. I think a few years ago you'd hear of these dodgy scams being set up on there, and you pay for it and nothing turns up and all that sort of stuff. But it's a fairly legit company now. It's got, I think it was then, but you hear some stories. But yeah, you can. It's got like similar protection to PayPal. So if you're not happy with products, you can claim a refund and they open a case, all this sort of stuff. And they even have their own in-house team that they can send to your warehouse in China, your supplier's warehouse, and verify the products are what they say they are and take pictures for you, all this sort of stuff. And it's relatively cheap to do that. In terms of safety, and which was my main concern when I started doing this business, in terms of getting stung by a supplier, because it's a totally new industry for me, and I've never done anything like it before. I think that was the main concern. But when you look into the protection measures they've got in place, and stories online, it's very 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 safe. So yeah, basically all you do is you type in whatever you want, and I mean literally you can type in anything on this website, and they will have it, and there'll be there'll be hundreds of suppliers that provide any product you type in. So all I did was type in top loaders and semi-rigids, and a number of suppliers came up. So that's how I started with it. And obviously you go through like a sampling process. So I got samples from, I think it was either 3 or 4 suppliers, and they charge you a fee for sending it over. So the initial outlay on this sort of stuff it can be quite costly if you go into multiple suppliers, because they all charge you a fixed fee to send you a sample from their warehouse to the UK via FedEx Express, which is about £30 to £40, depending on the weight of the package. So if you get in multiple suppliers sending you stuff, it can add up, and Anyway, that aside, so I ordered semi-rigids and top loaders as samples from different suppliers, and you test the quality of them. You see. I mean, the reason I went with my one was because I thought it was the best at the time, and out of the samples that I had, they definitely were. So that's the reason that I chose to go with what I've got here. And in terms of the custom packaging, they normally offer like a plastic bag that you put stuff in, and I said there's no way I'm doing that, because it just doesn't look very appealing. And I think if you're starting a new business, you need to have something as a bit of a niche away from what other people are doing to make yourself stand out, which is what I went for the 100 box of top loaders, and obviously the box that you see with the semi-rigids, which I've not seen anyone do. Especially since I ordered the product, there was no one doing that sort of thing. There's a couple of companies now that provide boxes, but they're different to ours. But yeah, in terms of I think, what is it, Ultra Pro provided, they do the 100 box thing as well. But I just thought it was more appealing for 100, especially at the amount that people have been collecting over lockdown. 25 has never been enough. You open a box of cards, and you top load in, maybe 50 cards. I mean, I do anyway. I overprotect stuff. Even like the reverse hollows, they go in a top loader, which I probably shouldn't do, but I just like to keep everything nice and safe.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean,
that's
if anyone's got enough of them, it's you.
Well, yeah, I mean, my girlfriend will moan at me, but my living room is just full of boxes at the moment. So I mean, the way I run the business is, I don't actually fulfill the products myself. I don't take them to the post office and send them, because I work full time during the day, and there's no way I could manage the business and maintain a full time job at the same time, and give a level of service. I'd be posting everything once a week on a Saturday morning or something if I had to do that. So I have a distributor in Bristol that takes delivery of my products, and when a sale happens on my website, it links into their software, and they send the product directly to the customer. So that's quite a hands-off approach for me, which is why one of the reasons I set it up that way, because there's no way I could have done it without that approach. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the business model that I have. It's not really giving away any secrets. I mean, it's pretty standard practice for a small startup business without warehouse capability. Um, in terms of that's the way I run the semi-rigids and the top loaders anyway. I recently took a shipment of the pull tabs, so you attach them to the penny sleeve and you can pull them out the top loader easily. I've got those in my flat where I live, but I've wholesaled a number of those to different retailers. One of which being Card Bazaar that you had on recently.
Yep.
Because I think obviously I can sell those tabs directly, but I think they warrant as more of a bolt-on item. So if because I don't stock penny sleeves. That's one thing I don't do, because there's at the time there was a big supply of them, and now there isn't. I know it's but by the time I've ordered them, there probably will be a big supply, so it'll be a bit silly of me to do so. And I think the pull tabs warrant as more of a bolt-on item. So if someone's buying a booster box or any cards really, having penny sleeves and a bolt-on of the pull tabs works better for a retailer that offers the TCG products that I don't actually offer. So I think that's the reason I took that route with those, and that they seem to be going quite well as well at the moment. I mean, I still get inquiries quite often about me selling them directly. I just point them to the other websites that wholesale, that I wholesale to. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's how I do that. I mean, I know I've only got 3 products at the moment, but we are working on PSA stands and other stands for different grading slabs at the moment, which is still a work in progress, because it's one of those things you really want to get right. You don't want the stand to take too much focus off the card. I think the card and the slab needs to be the standout item, and the stand just needs to complement it and ultimately do its job of standing the slab up rather than trying to make it the centerpiece. So I've spent the last sort of, I don't know, 2 to 3 months talking to a supplier about stands, and that's, yeah, I think they're probably getting a bit annoyed with me because I'm very indecisive, so I keep changing my mind and sending them new drawings and all this sort of stuff, which is that's one of the downsides to what I do. You can tinker a lot. It's hard to it can sometimes be quite hard to make a decision on this sort of thing. I was very lucky with the packaging on my semi-rigids and top loaders, because I employed a graphic designer to do that for me, and it was the first thing he sent me. And he went, "There we go. What do you think of this prototype?" And I was like, "Yes, I accept it." So I didn't really tinker much with those.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, but you mentioned it. It's like rebranding or branding initially
Yeah.
is a big thing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
My girlfriend made my logo, so
really.
yeah, she's an architect, so she is good at all like the design stuff, and she's good at Photoshop and that kind of thing. So she does all my graphics for me. I actually made my overlay. It's like the peak of my graphic ability.
Yeah, I can't claim to be any good at that sort of thing, because I am absolutely useless. I tried to make my own logo when I first started, and I spent probably about 5 hours in front of Photoshop just trying to figure out how to actually work the program before making anything. And I thought, this is just not worth the time for me doing this. So yeah, I employed someone to do it for me, and it's just a hell of a lot easier getting someone that knows what they're doing, which is why I did that. And I think some people said to me when I first got this logo, yeah, I don't know if you remember at school, you used to draw those S's on your table.
Oh
You
yeah,
draw like
yeah.
3 lines and then 3 lines, and you join them together. And someone said to me that my logo looks like that, and now I can't unsee it.
What
Whereas
now?
it's supposed to be,
No, I can't
it's
either.
supposed it looks like it now, doesn't it, when you look at
Yeah,
it? But yeah, it's supposed to be a G with an S around the edge, which it is,
yeah.
for Gradeshield. But now all it does is remind me of my school days now. So someone ruined that for me.
And now you have to rebrand.
I don't think I'm going to rebrand just yet, but yeah, it's I think it's been like an enjoyable process of going through it because I've learned a lot of things over doing this that I wouldn't have learned doing my day job in construction. So this is it's definitely different, and I think it's nice to have a different outlook on different things. And I am to a certain extent my own boss. I have to rely on the supplier and my distributor, but I'm in charge of everything, which is great. And if some days I don't feel like doing something on Gradeshield, I don't have to. I can do it the next day.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice situation to be in.
Yeah,
I I think people would be annoyed at me if I didn't ask how your Pokemon collection is looking now. Saying that you sold everything previously, are you building it up again?
I'm trying to build it up. I'm a bit of a graded snob, though. I really like graded slabs. So what I should have really brought some pictures of something, but my old collection was just I had about 30 different Pikachu's, all in PSA 10. And when I sold them, I just couldn't shift them. They just wouldn't go, and I ended up selling, PSA 10, 2002, really rare Pikachu's for like 40 quid. Um, the same cards now are worth, just under £1,000 sort of thing. So I really wish I didn't sell them, but at the time I needed a bit of money, so that's why they went. But unfortunately, I am trying to build it back up again. I got incredibly lucky in a raffle recently, which a few people probably know about. But there's a guy on Instagram called Monroe, and he sells a lot of sorry, he doesn't sell. He raffles off a lot of his old Watsy collection, and I entered one of his raffles, and it was an Alakazam PSA 9 Shadowless, and I think the raffle was £28 or something, and it come my way. So I was very, very lucky to get that card. Um, so I'm trying to build up a bit of an Alakazam collection as well at the moment because I just love the Alakazam artwork. I think it's great. I think it's the best artwork in base set. Um, so ideally I wanted to have like a little row of just Alakazam First Edition, Alakazam Shadowless, Alakazam Unlimited, Base 2, and then work my way through the Japanese sets and then into the other sets as well. Still WotC, but it's just so expensive now, and I can't justify, especially on the first editions. I mean, there's no way I can justify paying the money that people ask for on those sorts of cards. So I just feel fortunate to actually have the PSA 9 Shadowless because it's a lovely looking card.
Yeah, it's also the first card of the first ever set, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on this, Mark, but I prefer the Shadowless cards to the first edition.
Oh, I do too. I recently bought a Shadowless Growlithe, and
Oh yes.
it's great.
I just think that you know they're exactly the same as the first edition slabs, just without the first edition cards, just without the first edition stamp, aren't they? So
Yeah,
I just think they look more symmetrical without the stamp there, and they are rarer. They're rarer in print as well, aren't they?
yeah. If you
Um,
look at all like the population reports and stuff, they're all a lot rarer.
exactly. Yeah. So I think I don't know how many Charizards there are first edition Shadowless PSA 10s, but I think it's about a quarter of what there are. Sorry, there's about a quarter Shadowless than there are first edition.
Yeah,
It's quite a low percentage, isn't it? Because I think the print run was a lot lower on there.
yeah, because they're basically just like error first edition.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I like that sort of thing though. I just like the Shadowless sets. I just think they're great. I think they look a lot better.
I was watching a video recently, and it was had Gary King Pokemon in it,
Yeah,
and someone asked him what his favorite WotC set was, and
yeah.
everyone I thought he was going to say like first edition base or Shadowless or something, and he said it's Team Rocket, and it's because he knows that they changed the blades on the trimmers at Wizards of the Coast before Team Rocket, and that's why all the cards have better print quality
All
than
right.
Jungle and Fossil. And I was like, what a niche piece of information to know.
That is very. How the hell did he know that?
Well, he
That's some.
used to work with them, I think, as like a distributor.
Oh, I see.
Um, so yeah, I
Because
just thought
his
it was really
collection
cool.
is just obscene, isn't it? The amount of cards that he's got. I think I watched a video of his recently where he's put it all into storage though.
Yeah.
So can't remember how old he is. He's obviously, I think he's about 60, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He said that he's. I think he said recently that he's going to sell off like a decent chunk of it, so that you know, like the money can go to his family and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah,
But like
yeah, that is cool.
his collection could be distributed between like about 10,000 people, and they'd all be happy. So I
Oh, definitely, yeah. How many base Charizard first editions has he got in PSA 10?
think it's like 10.
Yeah, he has got a lot, hasn't he? I know didn't he sell one to Logan Paul?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. While we're on the subject of Gary, actually, have you
Yeah.
seen their latest thing that they're doing with the NFT?
I have. Yeah.
It's I don't quite understand it. I think their one's good because it's for a good cause. I think they're doing the proceeds go to a charity that in relation to autism.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Autism Instruct. I think that's the one that
That's it.
his wife runs it.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So I think that's quite a good cause. But the NFT thing overall for me is a bit strange. Um, I don't know. I think that the whole crypto and virtual currency world's gone a bit crazy over the last year, hasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not invested in crypto in any way or NFTs.
No.
So like I'm not an expert by any means, but like NFTs, I watched like I get why NFTs are collectible
Yeah.
because they're collectible in the same way that like you know Pokemon cards are collectible. Like Pokemon cards have no inherent value, right? They're only valuable because
No.
people like them. But the problem with NFTs is that
It's not real.
yeah, because they're digital, the only thing that ties you to that is a serial number.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
like if you don't have that serial number anymore, you can't prove that you own it.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy in the UK who had like I think he's got like £10 million worth of Bitcoin on a USB drive, and he threw it away by accident.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like applied to his local council to see if he can go through the tip and try and find it. And
I mean,
they keep saying no, but then he offered them 50% if he finds it, and they still said no.
that's insane. They should let him. But I mean, realistically, he's never going to find it, is he?
No, probably not.
But God, I did a bit of mining back in the day when it kicked off. But I missed the Bitcoin boat, and I did Litecoin mining.
Yeah,
But that was dreadful. I had like a £100 computer trying to mine cryptocurrency. It just doesn't work. I think I've got like 0.0001 of a Litecoin or something, and then gave up.
and now there's like a million different coins.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? All the I think Dogecoin's the one that's kicked off recently, where there's no value. It's literally just a meme. This coin, and
Yeah,
it goes up and down in value when various people tweet about it, like Elon Musk, and it's just it's just crazy. But then again, the stock market kind of reacts in a similar way to cryptocurrency.
yeah,
Um, and everyone says that obviously stock market's been around for donkey's years, and that's there's no one says that's not real, but it kind of is. It's kind of a bit fake, the stock market, and cryptocurrency responds to trends in the same way. Um, but yeah, I've not got any crypto. I don't think it's going to last forever. I think the only coin I can see lasting is Bitcoin, just because of the value of it. I think if that disappeared overnight, that's going to ruin a lot of lives.
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah,
but the other coins, like they're called altcoins, aren't they? The random coins. There's no real value to these. That's the way I understand it. Especially like Dogecoin, that's got an unlimited market cap, and they can just keep printing these coins as much as they want. So it's like inflation is just off the scale. So how can it possibly have a monetary value to it? But it seems to be doing quite well at the moment. I think it's on its way to being worth $1 a coin or something.
yeah. I remember when it was a new thing, and it was literally just started as a joke. But
Yeah,
if you
it
bought
did. Yeah,
into it, if you bought into it, then you're a millionaire now.
yeah. It was like 0.000000 0.04 or something when it first come out, and now it's like 50 cents or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You
Gone
know,
off on a bit of a tangent there, haven't
no, it's fine.
I?
If only you could go back in time, and know what good investments are.
If only.
I was saying this in the last podcast with Ash. He was saying that like he recently found some Jungle and Team Rocket packs in his loft, and it's only because his dad, who was like, he said his dad didn't really understand why he was collecting Pokemon, but he understood enough about collectibles to be like, you should keep some of this.
Yeah.
So he was keeping like Team Rocket boxes and stuff.
Oh, what, has he actually got sealed boxes?
I don't think he does anymore. I think he either opened them or sold them all.
Oh wow.
But like the other day he was like, I just found these in my loft, and they're like jungle blisters.
Oh, that's insane.
Really cool.
I wish I could do the same, but yeah, I'd just probably find spiders.
Yeah, no, I just find slightly damp toys in my parents' loft.
Damp toys.
It's one of those. It's one of those. That's pretty poor choice of words. It's probably one of, like my parents like put stuff in the loft when it's like has no use anymore, so there's nothing ever valuable in there.
No.
But like,
No.
there's always that dream, isn't there, that you go and look in like your garage or something, and then there's just like randomly a base set booster box there, and you're 15 grand richer or something.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember when I was opening all the base set packs in the back of my parents' car, and I'd get a Gyarados, and I'd be like, oh, I've got 3 already, and all this kind of stuff. When I was really young, I still never ever pulled a Zard though. I never opened a full booster box. I'd only ever go to the shop and get like 2 packs two packs in one day or something, and I never ever got the Charizard. And I still remember as well when I was with my mum and dad, and we went to a boot sale, and someone was selling a Charizard, and this guy paid £100 for it, and my dad went, "These people are stupid. Why would they pay that sort of money for a card?" And the guy that bought that Charizard then bought a booster pack and pulled a Charizard out of it. So
Wow.
it was that was quite an experience, and I couldn't get one. I must have opened, God knows, hundreds of packs and never got one. Um, Funny enough, I actually sent some of my old collection off to a company in France called PCA.
Oh yeah, I know PCA. Yeah.
Yeah, the French graders. I wanted to send them to PSA. I know they'd come back, probably like a 2 or something because they're so battered. Where I used to play with them as a kid. But I just sent a Mewtwo and a Zapdos base set to PCA to kind of test their grading really. And they recently announced that their service level's gone from 20 to I think 45 days now because they're getting a bit overloaded. But
Yeah.
in terms of a website and submitting cards, it's in French, but you just translate the page and it's quite straightforward. It's a very very easy website to grade with.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that they have like pictures of the cards.
oh, it's excellent. Yeah, it's so good.
It,
Um,
I'm
you,
not I'm not sure if they do anymore, but they used to have a feature where like if a card wasn't on their website, there was like an email address you could email and request for it to be added, and they'd add it for you.
oh really?
Yeah, so like quite a lot of the newer promos and stuff are not on there
Yeah.
straight away. So I was thinking about grading with them, and I was lucky enough to be one of the like random people that got chosen to be given the Zamazenta Premium Elite Trainer box with the
Oh right, yeah.
black and gold one, and they didn't have it on their website, but I could have just emailed them and asked them to add it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a very clever setup, isn't it? Because it's kind of like a drop down box, isn't it? And you just click the card you're going to grade, and that's it. You press next and you pay, and it's so cheap. It's what €8 a card or something.
It does seem weird that more grading websites don't have the kind of like, it's basically like a catalog, right? It's like you're buying something online.
Yeah.
I don't know why more grading companies don't have a website like that.
No, I think I've done PSA directly once. That's quite. So I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's just a little bit awkward. Um, I've not done Beckett directly. I've actually just sent one to Black Label Grading, who are the intermediary in
Yeah,
the UK, and I've sent one via them. Got a David Beckham second rookie card going across. But Yeah, I think Beckett is quite a difficult website to use, and from what I've been told, I've not actually tried it myself. I don't know if you have.
Um, I've not used it to submit, but I've used it for like checking pops and stuff.
Pops, yeah,
And their website is literally like 15 years old.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they never update it. Um, I've heard
It's very
from
busy, isn't it?
I've heard from a lot of people that like Beckett grading is really good, but Beckett as a company are just like back in back in the olden days of the internet.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why it's probably best to go through a middleman if you're going to do Beckett. But Beckett's prices have gone up recently as well, haven't they? So
Yeah,
they are definitely a premium. But I think that their slabs, in terms of adding value to a card, I'm not sure who's probably better for it, PSA or Beckett. I think obviously it depends on the grade, and I think Beckett are harsher graders than well, they definitely are harsher graders than PSA. Um, I've seen Beckett 9.5s that are better than a PSA 10, but I think a Beckett 10 is obviously it attracts more of a premium than a PSA 10, but I think a Beckett 9.5 is maybe slightly below PSA 10.
I think that's generally what I notice when I've looked at them.
Yeah, I do think the slabs look a little bit better than PSA, but
Yeah,
I think
all of my stuff's at PSA currently.
how long has it been there for now?
I submitted in July.
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah,
10 months.
I heard from I'm not sure. So I submitted through Graded Gem, um,
Yeah.
like a lot of people did. Um, I've I'm not sure how their orders are going, but I think I heard from someone that Ludkin people who submit through Ludkins, some June orders have come back.
Oh, okay.
I no idea about. I mean, mine's July, so it's going to be at least a month anyway.
Don't PSA publish this thing where they say they've got to a certain point and they've processed all orders for a certain that was submitted and received on a certain date or something now?
Yeah, the complete through dates.
Yeah.
So there's actually a really good account on Instagram called I think it's literally called psacard.ctd,
Right.
and the person who runs that publishes every day like what the complete through dates are and the movement from the day before.
Oh, that's quite good.
And then he or she, I don't know who runs it, did a like a monthly one at the beginning of or the end of each month.
Oh,
And so you can see like vintage or the TCG value, which is I think it's the closest to the graded gem service that I submitted on. So I just submit standard.
Yeah.
I think it moved like 18 days in the last month or the month of April.
Yeah, they are definitely struggling, aren't they?
Yeah, but another thing is like because the complete through dates are they're when they enter their system, so it's after their input. But there was like an unknown input delay between your cards arriving at PSA and then putting them in.
Yeah.
So like at one point it was like 6 weeks, but then it was 8, and then it was 12, and then it was 15, and then it was like we'll get to it when we can. So, but yeah, who knows? PSA, I think they released an update recently, and they said that they hope to get every card they currently have input by the 1st of July.
It's a big statement.
Yeah, so their complete through dates would be accurate as of the 1st of July.
Yeah, we'll see if they follow through on that one.
Yeah, that's what I did the podcast with my girlfriend. Like, she always says like the fact that PSA face basically no penalty for constantly just delaying service is weird. Like no other company would get away with it, I don't think.
Yeah, they're kind of a law to their own, aren't they? They're not regulated, are they? And there's no. I suppose they've never been up against it this much before, have they? It's never really been a consideration that this would happen. And obviously over lockdown, everyone's thought, oh, I'm going to make a few quid and send all my cards to PSA. Yes, it's weird times, isn't it, all round?
Yeah, I think they're also helped out a lot by the fact that like every other grading company's in the same position.
Yeah.
Like if PSA had like a year-long wait, but Beckett only had 3 months, then PSA would really have to do something about it. But like as of now, Beckett's like 7-8 months minimum.
Yeah.
So
yeah, They do still have their express service, which is very quick.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's less than a month actually. People are getting cards, from the UK to America and back, which is really good. And that's the way I've done my Beckham card that's gone out there. So I'm hoping I'll get that back
which
fairly quickly.
which one is it? Because I've got someone I know, JDM Pokemon on Instagram.
Oh
He
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he recently opened a load of things, and he's going to submit some sports cards. He's got
I've
got a few Beckhams.
Yeah, I've got a few of the Sabutio ones, which are the like the David Beckham rookie cards, and
Yeah,
I've got four of them, but I'm not going to submit them to Beckett because the centering is dreadful.
yeah,
Um, but I've got the card that I've submitted it's a 1998 David Beckham Player of the Year card, and you just cannot find them anywhere. And I got
yeah,
really really lucky. I bought it off eBay about 3 months ago now. Um, and I think I paid about 98, 90 quid, 100 quid for it. And they just don't exist, or they exist in poor condition. And the one
yeah,
I've got
yeah,
is pretty mint, really. It's got a tiny scratch on the front, but the whole card is hollow, and it's a really nice looking hollow. It's got like a gold and silver glimmer to it, but when you put it in certain lights, it's got a rainbow effect on it. It's quite a clever hollow that it's got. But I just think it warrants itself to look to be encapsulated in a slab, and Beckett have never had one submitted to them, so this will be the first ever one submitted.
that is pretty cool. To,
Yeah, so
it's like it's not just pop one. It's like pop one in any grade.
yeah, so I think that's why I wanted to do it. Really, I think it's a hard decision to grade with Beckett. I mean, I speak to the guys at Black Label Grading quite often, Vicky and John, and I keep saying to John, "I'll definitely need to submit some cards to you and all this." And every time I look through my collection, I go through hundreds of cards and I go, no, 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 because I know how harsh Beckett are. And if the centering's even if you think the centering's perfect, Beckett will look at it and go, no, it's not. And it's very, very hard to get a Beckett 10 just on the centering subgrade.
Yeah,
So I spend time looking through my collection and I keep looking back at it and going, no. So this is the only card I'm actually submitting to Beckett at the moment, just purely for I think it's got a decent shot at being a fairly high grade. But I think I look at cards and I think Beckett no, PSA 10 yes.
yeah,
So I think PSA are a hell of a lot more lenient on their PSA 10s definitely, especially on the centering. The centering on some 10s is questionable if I'm honest.
well, they've recently introduced like AI grading, haven't they? PSA
Yeah,
to
they bought that company, didn't they?
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what that does to like not only the grades but also like the cost of PSA cards. Like, will the newer certs be worth more because you can guarantee that they're better, or will it
Yeah,
not? Will it not make a difference at all? Will they just be the same as they've always been?
I think the only way that they can do this properly is if they maintain the same level of grading that they do already. Because if this AI machine, they don't program it properly and it starts really harshly grading people, that's going to turn people away because I think people use PSA to get a 10. I don't think anyone, I mean, well, I say some people do submit to PSA just to encapsulate and get a grade on a card, but I think, a lot of people go for the nines and tens, don't they? And I think PSA is the, it carries a premium, it gives you good value on the card, and it gives you a good shot at a 9 or a 10 because their grading is a lot more lenient than, say, the likes of Beckett or CGC, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah.
honestly.
I mean that is true. Like PSA have always advertised, not necessarily advertised themselves, but they've always been advertised in like the collectibles community as like a value added service.
That's it,
Like
yeah.
yeah, Beckett are the same, right? Beckett Sports has always been like a really big thing
Yeah.
because they offer those subgrades. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, especially some of the UK companies, it's like you see a lot more people submit like sentimental value rather than wanting to like actually sell them.
Yeah. What do you mean in terms of the UK grading companies?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think in terms of value, I think Get Graded, they for some reason their cards when they grade cards, the value is going up, and eBay cards in get graded slabs are definitely more than the raw, which is, I'd expect it to be the raw card value plus the grading fee, and that's the value of the card. But some of these cards are attracting like a 20-30 pound premium on, and I don't know much about the graders in the UK, or if they're using, you know, what experience do these people have? I don't know. But personally, I would only use them to encapsulate sentimental things. If I like the look of the label on the slab, I wouldn't I wouldn't use them to add value to a card.
Yeah, that's speaking of PCA, they actually offer an option to encapsulate but without a grade,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I
that's just the authenticated thing, isn't it? On the
yeah. So they'll just tell you that it is what it is, and then they won't grade it.
Yeah, yeah, I
It
think that's quite good.
PSA do have that as an option, but generally it's used as an option when the card is in such bad condition that
Yeah,
it's not worth grading. Like, if it's below 1, but it's real, then they might grade it. But sometimes
yeah,
they just don't. Sometimes they just send it back to you because it's not
send it
worth it.
back. Yeah. Could you imagine that if you said you waited a year for this card to be encapsulated and it comes back in a top loader?
Oh yeah, or just well, I saw someone get a submission pack once and it was in a semi-rigid without a sleeve.
Oh no,
So like it got sent back because it was recolored or something. I think it might be a Prime style. I think he did a video on it. He got sent like
that's
a
dreadful.
Rayquaza back or something, and they said it had been recolored. So obviously they thought it was fake, so they just stuck it in a top loader and just as it is.
It's like rookie number one error. I don't
Yeah.
understand why they do that. But there's a I don't know if we should talk about the grading companies in the UK, but there's a lot of them that have popped out of the woodwork recently.
Yeah, yeah. It's there are. I think there's probably 4 or 5 main ones, right, that have kind of come to the forefront. So like Get Graded were kind of ahead of the game,
Yeah, definitely.
a couple of months, and then there's Majesty have just opened, Majesty Grading Company.
Yeah,
They literally opened this week as we're recording. What would be last week as you're listening.
yeah.
And then there's is it UKG? Are they a company?
Uh, I only know UKG is UK Garage. I don't know UKG. I've not seen them. I've seen you've got Goodwin Bros. That's the new one that's opened.
Yeah,
Um, you've got PCG and a company called PGC, I think, that have opened as well.
so similar. Just so
So
many.
similar, yeah. Um,
Oh, there's Poker Grade. That's the other one I was thinking of.
Poker Grade UK, yeah, he's opened,
Yeah,
hasn't he? Yeah, I think that I don't really want to comment on the companies or anything. I think everyone's got good intentions. I think it's a hard thing to do to become like a reputable grader. So fair dues for them for doing that. I just think it's very very difficult to build a reputation and ultimately add value to someone's cards. I think a lot of them are they don't really sell that service. They sell, especially Poker Grade. He sells like I think he does just a standalone encapsulation service, and you can put your own message on the top of the slabs as well, which is quite a niche idea, which is quite clever. So I
Is
think
that,
he advertised it on his website as you can write happy birthday someone, and you can put a card in there, and I
yeah.
think that's quite a nice idea.
I think it does take something like that. Like I think that is going to be the next big thing people want is like personalization of slabs. So
Yeah.
there's a company in America called HGA, and it's
Hmm.
hybrid grading something, whatever
Okay.
A stands for. Um, and they offer a service where you can customize the color of your label
Yeah, I've seen them.
to either
Yeah.
match like the team or the color of the card. I think they do sports only at the moment, but like
I think it's cool. Yeah.
yeah, they have like a big premium on them. Some of them, especially if you get like a nice like colored parallel or something, you make the label
Mm.
the same color. They do look very nice.
Yeah, I think I did see them, and I thought the look of their labels was actually very good as well. It's got like different patterns as well. I think they do different patterns on the labels, don't they?
Yeah, that's what's it's hybrid grading approach because they use AI as well as people.
Yeah, okay.
They were like they got in there before PSA bought that company. They were the first, basically
Yeah.
like the first big big-ish company. They're quite big now, I think.
Mm.
using AI grading as like a tool to actually,
Yeah.
you know, grade people's cards regularly.
I think CGC use AI as well, don't they?
I don't know. I actually don't know very much about CGC. Um,
I, I think when they first come out, I think people thought their labels looked awful. Um, but the more, I mean, I was of that opinion as well. But the more I look at the slab, I think it doesn't actually look that bad at all. And people have told me that I've not actually got a CGC slab. I've been trying to get it cheap just to see what it feels like. But everyone tells me that the CGC slabs are crystal clear. And a lot of people have said they're better than PSA slabs. And obviously CGC have been around for donkey's years, haven't they? Grading comics. Um, and they've recently, I don't know how recently they got into the TCG stuff, but they're doing well now, and I think they've had to change their service levels as well to extend them on return times.
yeah, they also raised their prices recently by like about
Hmm.
25%, I think it was.
Yeah,
But it hasn't affected their grading, like the amount they're receiving really. Like obviously it must have a little, but they're still in a position where like the delay isn't going down, it's holding steady. So
yeah.
I
No,
think that's just the
sorry,
overwhelming thing, right? Sorry to cut you off. Just
that's all right. I'll cut you off.
the overwhelming thing is that like regardless of price, people still want to grade, and like that's where
Yes,
these UK companies come in, right? It's like they offer a service which is maybe won't add as much value, but you can get your cards protected in, I don't know, in some cases like 1/12 of the time that it takes to go with
yeah,
like PSA or Beckett, and it's also cheaper.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, some of them offer like a 3-day turnaround, which is really good. I know um, one of the guys I speak to, Scott, he runs an Instagram page called T-Rex Pokemon,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, he sent a card off to, I think it was a professional grading company, PGC, and they turned it around in like a day, and he sent it on like the Monday, and it come back on the Thursday or something, Um, so it's just crazy, what these people are doing because they've got the time, haven't they, as well. Um, but how long those 3-day turnarounds will last if the company grows is another story.
because that's the thing. It only takes enough people to realize you do 3-day turnarounds for it not be that anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, that 3-day soon becomes a 5 and then a 7, and it's just it'll slowly thin out.
Yeah, yeah. Grading's a bit of a mess generally, but it is getting better. And
Yeah, I think
if
one of the
not,
things I was quite impressed with obviously I know there was a big scandal with the Get Graded stuff when they first come out, and they got quite a bad start, I think, but they've turned it around, and they've released new packaging for their returns, and it does look really decent. But the boxes that they're turning stuff around it, which was quite impressive. It's good to see. I think a lot of people are like, oh god, not another grading company, because you see them popping up all the time. But all it's going to do is ensure that whoever does come out on top of this UK grading is going to be a decent company because there's so much competition already. Um, I think it's quite good that there's all these companies appearing.
I think it's I think what's happening, especially with like the Pokemon and collectibles community generally in sports, that kind of things, like everyone's a lot more connected now. So if
Yeah,
a company is bad, they get found out really quick, and that just
yeah,
means that
definitely.
every company that wants to be sustainable in the long term has to really up their game. And like
Yeah,
competition is great for you know for everyone really.
yeah. Well, if it's not, you see it with PSA and Beckett, well, mainly PSA. They haven't really got they haven't got much competition on the same level as them. So they can raise their prices and no one cares because, well, everyone cares, but they go, oh, just got to pay double now, haven't I? And there's no kind of uproar about it. It's kind of like, well, it is what it is. If you want to get your cards graded by PSA, you've got to pay a premium now. Um, when they're open, obviously in June, they just shut their doors when they want to. It's pretty crazy, really. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to take 3 months where you can just be like, you know what, I've got enough to do. I'll just
Yeah,
focus on myself.
go and do the garden.
Yeah, But yeah,
But yeah,
I think I heard it in quite a lot of videos, especially from a lot of high end collectors, that like saying that PSA has always been this luxury service that was reserved for like the most expensive cards, and then it suddenly became like a service that, because it was so cheap and the returns were so high, you could use
yeah,
it for basically anything. And now it's making
yeah,
that transition, and PSA will once again be like the premier service for expensive cards, and then you'll have the other grading companies that are, you know, useful for lower end cards that you still want to take good care of.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I recently bought. I say recently, it was probably a couple of months ago, but I bought a Japanese fossil pack booster pack from a guy called Jolty on Tom when he done his break, and because the only reason I bought this pack is because you're guaranteed a shiny, you're guaranteed a hollow in the Japanese WotC packs in the booster boxes. So I opened my pack and I thought, well, it cost me. I think it cost me about 100. It was between 120, 150 quid. I can't remember now exactly, but I thought even if I got absolutely nothing out of this and it was rubbish, I could send all of the cards, even the commons, to PSA and make my money back, regardless of the grades, because they just attract a slab. You know, the slab attracts a premium, doesn't it? And that was before they upped their prices. But you know, I think a lot of people's view with PSA was exactly what you said. You know, you could open, you know, a Vivid Voltage pack and send every card in that booster pack to PSA, get it back, and if it comes back as an 8 to 10 or whatever, you're going to make a lot of that money back. You make all of it back. Even the commons, you know, I doubt you'd see a card in a PSA slab at a high grade for less than sort of 30 quid. Um, so I think the money's there to be made with what it was definitely there to be made, which is why you saw all these scalpers appear over lockdown to try and make a few quid on cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect storm for kind of scummy behaviour. Really,
Yeah,
it's just like, you know, lockdown. People are bored. People are rediscovering Pokemon. Demand and prices go up,
yeah,
and yet retail is still a thing. So you know,
yeah. What was it? I think obviously when I was starting Gradeshield, I was following a lot of people on social media that do, you know, buying and selling on different platforms like Amazon and stuff, and followed a few influencers. And this guy just used to sell, you know, random products. And I think about 6 months ago, he went, "I've just discovered that there's this company called PSA, and they grade cards, and you can send stuff to them, and it look at the value you can get." And I was like, "Really?" He had a platform of like, I don't know, 50,000 followers, and he just like opened even more traffic to PSA by what he did there. And he was showing off all these PSA slabs that he had in his house, and I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!"
yeah, there was a stage where it, like, PSA Pokemon became like the next hype beast kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just like, you know, it was a solid, well, Logan Paul kind of, well, I wouldn't say Logan Paul kicked it off. It's probably more like Gary Vee that started it, because he made a video basically where he said that Pokemon is the next big thing.
Yeah,
And when Gary Vee tells you that something's a big thing, it means two things. It means that one, he's already bought loads of it, and two,
yeah.
it will be the next big thing, because he's like diehard audience do whatever he says.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
the
then,
thing with these influencers, isn't it?
yeah, and then, you know, then Logan Paul did his thing, and it all kicked off. And then it's interesting because it kind of died around his second box break.
Yeah,
Like
it did.
the hype bubble kind of burst, because I think, well, I didn't watch it because it was far too late for me. I tried to stay up, but it started like 4 a.m., so I didn't bother.
Yeah,
But like, I was talking to people who watched it at the time, and they were just like, it wasn't as exciting because
no,
it had been done, and you could tell that. Well, he packed two Charizards, didn't he?
he did. Yeah,
And
two cards.
he packed them within like the first 10 packs
Yeah,
or
so the
something.
hype's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's like, well, yeah, there's nothing. There's definitely not. Well, I said it's definitely not. There could be three. I mean, I did all. I actually did make a spreadsheet and did all the maths of if it was possible, and it is. But like, you pack the best card.
Very rare.
It's like if you pack the best card in a set, you don't want to open anymore.
No, no, that's right. I bet all the people that bought those packs and they'd seen the two Zards, even when they saw the first Zard pulled, they were like, probably, oh, for God's sake. Because how much was he selling these booster packs for? It was
They went for
ridiculous.
like 40 grand each on average.
Yeah, and he paid like 275k for the box or something. So he like quadrupled his money
Yeah,
and some.
yeah.
Um,
And also he sold all the NFTs, which should now exist like forever.
yeah. Oh yeah, doesn't he have like a? Oh, I don't know. Has he got a card with his face on it or something? I can't remember what he had.
Yeah, it was like a Logan Paul Pokemon card NFT thing.
Yeah,
And if you bought a pack, you got one guaranteed, but then you also had a chance to get like a more rare one. You know, it's again, it's in a complete like he's just making things up, and they're assigned value based on how much people like them.
yeah.
So
It's signed on hype, isn't it? Effectively.
yeah,
But I think I think they pulled the two Zards and they pulled the Blastoise and the Venusaur, didn't they? And
yeah.
there's one guy in the world that's got all three of them now.
It's Poker Wizard, the Australian
That's
guy.
it. And they all got PSA 10 grades, didn't they?
Yeah, he bought. I think he bought the Blastoise off someone, but the Charizard
Yeah,
and the Venusaur were both pulled for him, which is
yeah,
pretty
that's
crazy.
insane. That is luck. That is.
I think it was I think it might have been Unlisted Leaf that he bought it from, the Blastoise.
That rings a bell. That does ring a bell, actually. Yeah, because I think I saw him post about it. But what was it? The one of the, I'll tell you what, a box break that I did watch recently that was actually exhilarating was I don't know if you know the guy on Instagram called Pokey
No, I
but
don't. Well,
he does
I think I follow him, but I'm not familiar with him particularly.
he does lives. He was doing every Wednesday and I think Sunday, but he's just switched it to Sunday now since lockdowns eased. People are out and about more, aren't they? And he opened a Spanish base set box and sold the packs to everybody. And he pulled the Zard out of that, and everyone was like, "That's insane." Um, and that was actually because I watch that guy's lives quite frequently. To watch him open that box, pull a Zard, it's actually quite cool to watch it rather than watching Logan Paul do it. You don't know the guy, do you? And it's all a bit hyped up, and yeah, it's different when you see someone that you kind of know do it live.
Because you get
But what
that.
was in?
No, carry on.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say because you get that experience like when you were a kid, you like open Pokemon cards with your friends.
Mm,
It's like yeah, if you know the person, it kind of goes back to that where like
yeah,
you can genuinely feel happy for them rather than if Logan Paul opens a pack for like a guy who owns a multi-million-dollar company, it's just a bit kind of soulless, isn't it?
yeah. It's kind of like yeah, I think the jealousy kicks in a bit as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's not the same, is it? But the guy that pulled the Zard, he ended up taking home a sealed pack, and I think he pulled the Venusaur at home. So he done very well on
right.
the Spanish box.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, when we looked at the population, I don't think there's PSA 10 Spanish Charizard.
I know there's people who collect like so base set was printed in probably more languages than any other set,
Yeah,
and there's like uh, Japanese and Chinese and Portuguese, and like there are people who just try and collect every one.
yeah,
Remember Leonhardt did a video once where he opened a Chinese base set box, and there's like I think he took it to Beckett or something, and there was none of them graded. Like none of the
yeah.
Chinese ones graded.
Where do you even find something like that? They just must be even harder to find than English base set, you know?
It's really weird because there seems to be like a few. So Ruby and Sapphire, um, there are all I see is Spanish Ruby and Sapphire packs.
Yeah,
Like there was a stage where they were cheaper than they were when they were released. They were like £3 each because they only come in 5 cards.
yeah,
So like people were just selling them on eBay for like hardly anything. Ruby and
yeah.
Zafiro, I think it is.
Yeah, I think I may have seen them as well. But do you? I was going to ask you earlier, I forgot. But do you collect anything else other than Pokemon? I think you said you mentioned you've got some Beckhams as well.
Oh no, I don't have the
Oh
Beckhams,
no,
but I did.
JDM has Beckhams, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
I do collect football stuff. Um, I actually collected Match Attacks this year.
Oh yeah,
They release 3 sets a year, so I completed the first one. Um, there's a few like limited editions I don't have and stuff, but like the way they spread out their releases tops is just like nonsensical. It's like you get one limited edition a box, but you get 100 or 50 packs in a box.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna go after all of them. I got quite a few of them. I also just like I really like random TCGs as well. Like I have a Simpsons TCG box. I bought my girlfriend some Hunchback of Notre Dame TCG packs once. They are weird. They're even weirder than the Dalmatians ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know these things existed.
The best TCG is the Ricky Martin collectible card game.
Oh my god!
And it's just like the Justin Bieber one, but it's just it's just pictures of Ricky Martin. Well, it's like £40 a box. It's very expensive. Ricky Martin was very popular in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was very popular amongst women, and then he came out as gay and was slightly less popular amongst women.
Yeah. I think I'll have to have a rummage and have a look around for different TCGs that are a bit niche because I think it's quite funny. I think that's more of an experience as well, finding something like that and opening it, like because everyone does Pokemon, everyone does football and basketball, all that sort of stuff. But I think opening like what you did with the Dalmatians one, especially I think you were charging like £1 a pack, weren't you, or something for these Dalmatian packs?
Yeah. Even then, I felt bad.
Yeah.
That's so.
I was like, I'm snapping that up.
Like initially, I was gonna just do like a box break, like just for fun, and then it reached a point where I was like, I can't like sit here and charge £36 for a box that cost me a fiver. So that's when I was like, you know what, I'll give it to charity, and then I don't feel so bad about it.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I've got enough boxes of them to keep me going for a year. I could do box breaks every 2 weeks.
They have like fur and foil cards in there.
Yeah.
And I have a second box, and I pulled both out of the next box, and they're supposed to be one in 24 packs or something, and I pulled both out of the same box, which is pretty mad.
That is impressive.
I don't want to burst your bubble though. They are very easily weighed.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
You get four magnetic like fridge magnets per box.
Yeah.
Those packs are heavy, and then the ones that have the fur and foil cards in are light. So I just wanted to see if I could weigh them, and then in the box I had 4 really heavy packs and 2 really light ones. So now I have 25 packs of Dalmatians TCG cards that I just don't know what to do with.
I didn't realise. Oh, yeah, it's quite sad that you can weigh them.
Yeah. I don't have like a proper scale or anything. I would just weigh them on kitchen scales.
But it worked.
Yeah. It was like 2 or 3 grams lighter for the fur and foil ones and like 6 grams heavier for the magnetic ones.
I might have to open it now just to get these special cards. No, mine will be stuck together and it will pull all the front off.
I had to clean them up because they're like obviously they're quite old, so a lot of the fur had fallen off, so I had to wipe it off with a cotton bud. Make sure it was all right.
I wonder if Beckett will grade them. Beckett seems to grade anything.
I was really tempted to send them to Beckett because
there's no population.
Yeah, well, there might be because you'll send them too.
Yeah, there'll be 20 getting sent there.
Yeah, just submitting all of the Dalmatians TCG. There's one thing that I do have, and I've been on the fence about whether to open it or not. And it's in 2001, 2002, Wizards of the Coast made Premier League football cards.
Yeah.
And I have a booster box of the update set, so like the January update, and I'm very tempted to open it. It's got like some cards in it that are really good and the rest are kind of terrible, but it's got like Steven Gerrard in it, Alan Shearer, a lot of players like that, and the population for PSA for the entire set is 2.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that's low.
And it's got John Terry's rookie card in it. It's probably the best.
Yeah, that's rare.
The best rookie card, I think.
So, did you get that box recently, or have you had it for a while?
I bought it. I can't remember. Was it before? I think it was before Christmas, and I paid £60 for it.
Wow.
And I've been offered 275 for it.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, I probably should sell it. And then I really want to open it.
Well, if you opened that and you pulled that John Terry rookie card, that's probably worth quite a bit of money if you got that graded, isn't it?
It's £8 ungraded, which is not
Ah,
bad. He's also a common. Well, I say common. It's just a non-foil. They only have 2 rarities in this.
oh, I see. Okay,
So I'm tempted. I might stream that and do the box break.
yeah, that'd be quite cool. Would you keep it for yourself though, or sell the packs?
I put it out on Instagram, and I had one person message me about it, so I'd probably keep them.
Yeah, yeah. It can be quite hard to fill these breaks, can't it? Sometimes, especially if it's a niche.
Yeah, it's like I have a predominantly Pokemon audience, so if you put like sports
Yeah.
stuff out there, then they majority of people don't really collect that. So
Mm. That's one thing I've discovered is very difficult to grow outside of the community because obviously I can, semi-rigids and top loaders are for everybody, aren't they? For every TCG, and I think my following is like 95% Pokemon, and then maybe 1% Dragon Ball, 1% Yu-Gi-Oh, 1% sports. So low, and I've got no idea how to, you know, expand. If you know what I mean.
yeah, I
I
guess
find
this.
it quite interesting to look at the other breaks as well. So, I follow a few accounts. They open different sports cards, and it's really interesting to see other types of sports and different cards.
Oh yeah, like I love watching sports breaks of sports that I
Mm.
don't even care about.
Yeah,
Like I really like watching like NFL breaks. I have no interest in American football whatsoever. Like I don't support a team, don't really know the rules, but all the cards look pretty cool.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
to be fair though, watching breaks has actually got me into watching the NBA. Well, not watching because we're in the UK, but like keeping up with the NBA.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
which is it's interesting because like I didn't really care for basketball before, but now it's something that I check on semi regularly.
yeah. I've never looked into it because I know it end up getting time consuming, and I'll get stuck looking at it all the time.
Yeah, it's also just sports cards are incredibly expensive, so
Yeah. Well, yeah, all the old rookies are, aren't they? It's just ridiculous money.
even the new
Um,
products are just worth so much. Like they have
well, yeah.
they have the issue that we have in Pokemon, but it's so much worse because like
Mm.
anything that's released has like an MSRP and then like an actual resale price, and it could be like 5, even 6 times higher,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
gets crazy.
I think there was one that Topps did recently, which was like a Lewis Hamilton release,
Yeah,
and it was one of the ones where I think you mentioned it earlier with the match attack stuff, and I think they've got like 1 in 100 packs has got a signed autograph card or something, and it's ridiculous ratio, but people are going for it, and then before they'd even dropped the boxes, and you could buy them, people had them on eBay for like 5 times retail price, ready to sell as soon as they got them.
yeah. They Match Attack's actually recently added the autographs, and it's 1 in 198 packs,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and I think you get 24 in a box, so it's basically one a case.
Yeah, that's um, that's a lot of money to get one card. But I mean, that card's going to be worth a lot of money, isn't it?
Well, it depends because some of the autographs are players that you just wouldn't care about.
That's true. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
uh, it's one thing to have like a Lionel Messi autograph, but if you have like a Burnley midfielder, it's like is it really? It's not really worth it, is it?
yeah. Unless that Burnley midfielder transfers to Barcelona or something, then
Yeah, I've recently there's a channel called Soccer Breakers on YouTube, and
yeah,
he's like probably the one of the biggest like football card breakers on YouTube, and
mm,
he's recently been opening Panini have like premium products, and I think it's impeccable. They have like different names for them. They're all
yeah.
very very similar, but the products are like slightly different. And it's like £1,000 or $1,600, I think, a box, and
Jeez.
you only get 7 cards, and there's a pretty decent chance that you just won't get anything that you really want.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can get borderline gambling, can't it? If especially on the low ratios, you keep chasing those cards.
Yeah.
can be it's very addictive, isn't it? Especially if you're trying to complete sets as well. Um,
But yeah, it's
you need
like
to be careful.
especially these like really high value, low quantity breaks. Like you can quite a common format is pick your team. So if you're an Arsenal fan or a Tottenham fan or whatever, you buy Arsenal or Tottenham, and then if any of the cards from that team get packed, you get them.
Yeah.
And when you buy like one of the cheaper products, they have so many cards in them. There's a pretty good chance that you'll get at least something. But when it's
Mm.
like £1,500 for a box and there's only 7 cards in it, like realistically, there's a good chance you'll get nothing.
Yeah, it's a big gamble.
But then again, you might hit a one of one Messi and it's worth like 15 grand. So that's just the gambling aspect, isn't it?
It is, that's I'm surprised it's allowed now.
I, I'm
All
su-
these,
I'm surprised that raffles aren't more like scrutinized because it is
yeah,
essentially
it
just
is illegal. Yeah,
unlicensed gambling. So
it is. Yeah, yeah. You need a gambling license for raffles, don't you? Unless it's a non-profit raffle,
yeah,
which I think 99% of the raffles on Instagram are not are profit. Um, so yeah, I think it's dodgy, but it doesn't get policed, does it? So if it's not going to get policed, it's going to carry on.
yeah. I mean, there's like you said, there's no deterrent to not do it, right? If you can make twice what you paid for something, and the people who enter it are totally fine with that, then it's never going to change.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think
but
there's a couple of places on Facebook that do raffles, and some of the raffles on Facebook they are genuinely about the same as retail. Like they don't allow any more. Um, they don't allow someone to sell, I don't know, Vivid Voltage pack, and they're doing 10 entries up for £1 each. They won't do that. It will be very minimal entry requirement sort of thing, which is quite good, and it keeps it at least you've got a decent chance of getting something, and you're not paying over the odds for it. You're not paying double what you would at retail if you just went and bought one. If you know what I mean.
yeah, because like the original point of a raffle is that you pay a small part of that value.
Yeah,
The person who sells it makes as much, but you also have the ability to get it for much cheaper. Whereas
yeah,
what rock raffles have or Razes have become,
Raz,
I
yeah,
don't know where Raz came from, but like what they've become now is an ability for someone to basically take advantage of their audience, make a load of
yeah,
profit, and then the person who wins to still be like, oh well, I got it for a tenth of its price, so I don't care.
yep, that's right. And the people that didn't get it go, well, I only lost £2 or whatever. You
Yeah,
kind of shake it off, don't you?
it's
But
it's these crazy raffles where it's like you have like a raffle. I've seen quite a few of them where it's like 10 spots. If you win, you get the prize. If you lose, you pay the cost of it. And
what?
it's like that makes no sense. Why would you enter that?
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, like you have like a 2-person raffle, and the winner gets it, and the loser pays. It's like that offers no
Yeah, that's
seemingly no
awful.
benefit whatsoever.
That is just straight gambling.
Yeah,
Well, they all are, aren't they? Really. But I think some of the raffles that people do where they might have 50 cards and you pay a flat fee to enter, um, and you'll be guaranteed something, but the value of those cards might be anywhere from 10 to 500 quid or something. I think they're quite good because you'll always walk away with something, even though it might not have been what you went entered the raffle for. At least you've gone away with something and you're not left empty-handed.
yeah, and
But
that's also like a lot less of a grey area, right? It's like
yeah,
at that point you're not gambling because you are guaranteed something. You're just not sure what the thing you'll get is.
yeah, exactly. I think it's a fantastic way. I mean, the only people that are winning in this are the people that do the raffles. I mean, um, I think that's a great way to clear a collection if you do a raffle. Especially if you've got one, if you've got 2 or 3 cards or slabs or whatever that are very highly sought after with a load of crap behind it, people are going to enter regardless, just because they've got that chance of getting a decent card. Um,
Yeah, it's just if you offer something that someone wants,
yeah,
but there's a small chance they'll get it, but you guarantee them something anyway, then it's a pretty attractive proposition.
definitely, definitely is. Yeah, yeah. But I went for a phase of entering loads of raffles when I first started Gradeshield, and slowly tapered off because it just gets out of control.
Yeah, I can imagine it does. It's the classic thing. It's like because raffles, for the most part, you get some like really big raffles, which you know I don't enter raffles anyway as like a I don't particularly agree with the whole process of the raffling, so I don't enter them and I don't run them. But if you want to, that's your decision. That's just what I do. But
Yeah.
I
The only thing I do is I do giveaways fairly often now. I'm going to stop. I think it's quite nice doing a giveaway. I mean, it's a great way to grow your followers as well.
oh yeah, I did
Which is the
one.
reason I do it.
I did one recently, and I gained more followers in 48 hours than I gained in the last like month and a half.
Yeah.
But when I do my giveaways, I just try to do something a bit different. So like for this one, I did like tag a friend and they win instead of you.
Say that again.
Like most giveaways are like tag a friend.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I did, the person you tag gets the prize. So
Oh, I see.
like encourage people to like tag their friends.
Yeah, that's
And
quite good.
like initially I went into it just being like, oh, this is a nice idea, and then I quickly realised that it was absolute marketing genius because it gets people to tag as many friends as possible without feeling guilty about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you ever want to steal that, feel free.
That's a really good idea. I shall consider that for my next one because I've got. Uh, it was really funny actually. So I think I did my first giveaway when I hit like I don't know. I think I was about 500 followers or something, and I did my giveaway. It was when my top load was finally landed in the UK, and it was just I think I just gave away I think it was a Shining Fates Pikachu box. Um, and I gained like I'm not joking. I think I gained like 350 followers of this one giveaway, which was insane over a week. And then my last giveaway, I did a Champions Path ETB, and I got like 100 followers. But even so, like 100 followers is a massive gain from a giveaway. And there's all these kind of promotional tools that you can use on Instagram and Facebook to like promote your listings and listings. Sorry, I'm not on eBay, or your posts. But I've done that a few times now, and you pay Instagram like say 30 quid, and they'll promote your post over the next 5 days for a certain amount of engagements. And I did that, and from 30 quid, I got like 6 followers. So a giveaway is definitely more, it's more lucrative than doing that, and you're more likely to reach people that are your target audience that way as well.
Yeah, I think giveaways like they're basically organic growth, but just sped up.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah, definitely.
if you're doing a Champions Path giveaway, like you're not going to tag like your parents, are you? You're going to tag like a friend
Yeah,
who also collects Pokemon, who would probably have found you anyway, but will now find you faster.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I found that when I was doing the giveaways, and I found that my sales also went through the roof on Gradeshield. When that's when you know that they're working, especially for what I do, because people are following me and then going, oh well, I like the look of their product, and then they buy them. So you know that you're getting the right followers just from seeing that happen, which is quite nice, especially if you're spending money on stuff for a giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, as a brand, obviously, like that is the end goal, right? Is you wanna gain the followers, be known in the community, and it translate into sales.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it was just nice to get some more followers. I, I I think I was at like 450, and I was like, I might do a giveaway for 500, and then I was like, oh, it's fine, I'm not too fast, so I just do this instead. And then I hit 500 within about 2 hours,
Yeah,
so I just
that's
turned
really
into
good.
that. But like, it's nice. Also, the thing that I like about giveaways is just like people who you wouldn't normally engage with. So like I mean, I gained lots of followers, but I also followed a lot more people. And it's just
Yeah,
I just found a lot of people that I wouldn't find otherwise.
yeah. I think with me when I first started doing Gradeshield, I thought, I'm going to keep myself anonymous, and Gradeshield is the company, and I don't want people to know me, and I want it to be kind of um, I wanted to keep it separate from my life, if you know what I mean. And that just went out the window pretty much instantly because it's such a good community, and I've made loads of friends from just people that buy my products, and uh, just yeah, I don't know. I just can't stop talking to people either. That's probably the most time-consuming thing. Is I actually enjoy talking to people in the community. I spend more time talking to people than I do actually on Gradeshield as a business, um, which I discovered a while ago, about a week ago, because my accountant rang me and said, "You've not done anything on your system for 2 months." I thought, yeah, I better do that. I just spend all my time talking to people about stuff.
Yeah.
So
Spend your evenings
it,
recording podcasts.
exactly, yeah. No, it's good. It is good, and I think it's good to build relationships with customers as well. I mean, if you're going to grow your business to ridiculous scales, then you can't do that. You cannot physically donate enough time to the business to know everyone individually. But um, I do know a fair amount of my followers, which is great, and it's really handy to know people as well, because at the moment I'm working on these stands. It's nice to run ideas past people that if I was just I didn't know these people, then why would they be interested in responding to me if I'm just sending them pictures of designs and going, what do you think? No one's going to care. So it's nice to have the ability to speak to people and engage with them and actually get decent feedback on the products that we're developing, because at the end of the day, the people that are following us are the ones that are gonna buy them.
It makes
So it's good.
it makes perfect sense. Like that's the thing about being a smaller business is that you draw people in with you, and then as you become larger, obviously, like you said, you can't know everyone, but you have
Yeah,
that nice if you have a nice core base of people who buy from you, then they recommend it to their friends, and they recommend to their friends, and then
yeah.
it goes from there.
That's kind of how we grew initially. Yeah, I mean, we directly supply Black Label Grading, 'cause they do all the intermediary for Beckett. So we sell them our semi-rigids in bulk, and they get a lot of they point a lot of people into our direction as well, which is fantastic, because they've got a really good following. Um, and when people the best thing about it is when people do post pictures of their cards inside the semi-rigids, especially because you know people that have got 1,000 followers, posting just one picture like that is a massive help, and it shows off the product quality. I can do that myself, and I've got pictures of quality of the stuff, but it's great when you see a customer do it, because it's just got more integrity than the business doing it itself.
It must be really nice as well when you see people have like high value cards in your products
Yeah,
to be like
yeah,
they trust me enough that they will put their
yeah,
favorite very expensive cards in there.
yeah. There's a guy. Can't remember his name now, but he's Genga something, and he did a break the other night, and well, not a break. It was like a rip and ship, and someone pulled a Shining Fates Zard VMAX, and that went straight into our semi-rigid, which is really cool to see. Um, so yeah, seeing that sort of thing is really good, and obviously Black Label Grading, they get all the really really expensive submissions from customers that are going to send to Beckett. So there's a lot of cards that are on their website, that are on their Instagram, that are sitting in our semi-rigids, like the Fortnite Black Knight.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's seeing that is really really cool. Um, and what was funny was when I think they tagged Beckett in that picture as well, and Beckett shared it on their social media. So it's like, wow, I'm reaching American audiences now as well, which is really cool.
have you have you considered expanding abroad, or do you? I'm guessing you do UK. Do you do Europe as well?
I don't do Europe at the moment, and it's a bit of a sore subject at the moment. So with Gradeshield, I initially set this up to sell on. Obviously, my website is where I want to drive people to, because it's cheaper. Um, it's cheaper for me and it's cheaper for the customer because I don't have any of the additional fees that get charged on eBay. On my website, it's just a flat fee on a monthly. But I wanted to set this up to be on Amazon, eBay, and my website. Amazon have been the worst thing to get set up on since day one, and I still to this day have not sold anything on Amazon because they blocked my account about 3 months ago. It was early February, I think they blocked it. And the reason they did that is because that was when I was changing all my details over from self-employed to a registered company, and my bank details were still in the self-employed bank details. And when I input the company bank details, they said this does not match your profile. You are no longer a registered seller. And I've been appealing for the last 3 months, sort of like every 2 or 3 days. I send them another email, I chase them up, and I just don't get any response. Uh, so that's kind of killed me a little bit because I know that semi-rigids and other products that are on Amazon, I would be the cheapest ones on there, and they're really good quality. So it's really kind of frustrating to see that. But I don't have access to the Amazon customer base, which is massive.
Yeah.
And Amazon would be the only way that I would choose to sell abroad. So I would send them to an Amazon warehouse in Germany and the US, especially the semi-rigids and the stands when they're eventually out. But I can't do that at the moment, which is very, very annoying. So I'm limited to eBay and my website. But I don't make many sales on eBay. It's the majority of my sales, I'd say about 95% plus, come from Instagram and my website, um, which is really good. It's good to see that I can still do that purely through social media, with the followers that I've got, which is great.
Yeah. Uh, that sounds pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I know people who've had experiences not necessarily at Amazon, but like other large sales platforms, and it's just impossible to get hold of them.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I guess you know that's a function of their success, isn't it?
yeah,
Like you were
yeah.
saying
It is.
earlier, like you can't speak to everyone individually, and Amazon are honestly the biggest sales company in the world at this point, aren't they? So
Yeah, I mean, Amazon obviously they're renowned for really good customer service, aren't they? Because if anything goes wrong with your parcel, they'll be like, no problem, we'll refund you, or no problem, we'll send you another one, the next day, sort of thing. So Amazon's solely focus is customer service,
yeah,
and they do not care about the sellers. Is what the general consensus is between in like that sort of that side of it, which is
yeah,
unfortunate. But they've got so many people that want to sell on Amazon because it can be quite lucrative that they don't care. If I don't get our business onto Amazon, then it's no skin off their nose. They don't care. There's plenty of people knocking on their door and becoming new sellers every single day. Um, it's just unfortunate that it's taken this long to get to that point. And I think it was about 3 days ago, I did something on their website that put me through to a different department. I still don't know how I did it, but I've somehow managed to raise a grievance against them. So I'm waiting for a response on that because it would be really good to get on there and get some sales.
yeah. I mean, there's so many people I'm sure in Europe and America that would want them.
Yeah, yeah. I
Don't want to
think
rub it in, obviously.
no, not at all, not at all. No, but I think especially in Europe, France, Italy, there's not many, especially if you go on like it's quite sad. I sit on the Amazon Europe websites, Amazon.it, Amazon.fr, and check what products are for sale in those countries, and you know the supply is so limited in those countries, especially Italy. There's like nothing on their website at all. Um, so I could, I would like to get my products over there and sell them, but I can't at the moment, and it's very frustrating. Um, but there we go. That's where I am with it. But I'm still happy with the progress. I mean, I'm so glad that I chose to go the route that I did because I nearly went with just an Amazon model where that would mean I wouldn't have a website, I wouldn't have anything. It would just literally be I send my products to an Amazon warehouse and they sell them, Um, but then I wouldn't have the customer interaction that I do if I did that. and I wouldn't be able to sell on other platforms like eBay and my website directly. So I'm glad I didn't, because I'd still have my products just sitting in the middle of nowhere at the moment if I did do that, because they blocked my account. So I'm glad I made this decision to keep it separate from that.
Well, on the theme of things that are annoying, I think it's probably time that we we wrap this up.
It is 10 o'clock. Wow.
It is. We've been talking for an hour and 45 minutes, unbelievably.
That has gone quick.
But I'm going to end how I've ended every episode so far, which is with Route 101. So it's a shameless rip-off of the show Room 101.
Oh, excellent.
And if there's one thing that you could get rid of in Pokemon or collectibles in general, and never have to deal with it again, what would it be?
Let me be careful here.
Can't be Amazon.
Well, that was going to be my first option, but that's not really specific to Pokemon. I would just say scalpers. But
Yeah.
that's quite a basic answer, isn't it? I was trying to think of something clever, but scalpers is the one for me, I think.
I mean, it's not an unpopular choice.
I suppose at the end, people would say that, you know, some of the stuff that I do is potentially scalping, but I'm just trying to get products from the source and out to the customers. But yeah, definitely scalpers for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, even my girlfriend said scalpers in the podcast we did together, and she doesn't even collect anything. So
It's obviously a well-known term.
yeah. Well, it's been lovely chatting.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Nice. It was a pleasure. And before we go, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you on social media and your website and that kind of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're mostly active on Instagram, which is just at Gradeshield. All of our products can be found on our website, which is www.gradeshield.co.uk. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram.
And I will. I'll put all the links and stuff like that in the description below. So if you need any of that, then it should be there.
Excellent.
But yeah,
thank you again, Mark.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, David. It's been really nice. And thanks to everyone for watching. And I will see you all next week with another guest. Goodbye.